Ready?
All right, let's do this. Okay, so we're hungry.
Hi guys.
So we're gonna eat, and we said we would share some recipes. So here we are.
We're gonna make Alfredo and spaghetti noodles and Italian sausage tonight. But the first thing I need to do is I need to tie my hair up. So I'm gonna tie my hair up while he starts.
Wash your hands. Cooties are real. Hold on.
Yeah. Let me.
So we just had a very important conversation about how important it is to be able to flip stuff in the pans. We swapped out pans. This one's got rounded edges for the flippy factor, and you want flippy.
Don't want.
I want flippy.
So to start with, I'm going to start the Alfredo sauce. First thing you do is you take heavy cream. As Nate is pouring those sausages into the pan. You see the pan?
With the flippy edges. Pan with the flippy edges.
I'm going to take some heavy cream. Now I have some heavy cream and that I have frozen. So I'm just going to pour that in. Yep. Pour that all in. Turn it up, turn it on to about medium heat. Then I'm going to put in some butter. Lose my spoon.
Do you want a longer spoon?
I would like a longer spoon.
Like this?
Thank you. That would be
Sure.
wonderful.
So the secret to
Let's
sausage is cook them on a medium to low heat so that they go longer, and you want to keep all of the wonderful juices in the casings for flavor and whatnot if you're going to be gourmet about your sausages. These aren't gourmet sausages, probably not worth that, but that's okay.
You want at least 2 cups of cream for the Alfredo sauce and half a cup. Is this a half a cup, Nate?
Yes, half cup.
And a half a cup of butter. And then you turn that on until the butter melts. Just stir it around. In the meantime,
Drink water.
I'm going to
Always drink water.
I'm going to take this large pot and put water in it. Boop. Okay, so I've got my pan half full of water. I'm going to
Or is it half empty? You know, the real answer to that is I found that if the thing is empty to begin with and then you fill it, it's half full. If you're pouring it out to the midpoint, it's half empty. Problem solved.
Add a little bit of oil to it.
What does oil do, Vikki?
It makes it so your pasta doesn't stick to each other when you put it in there.
But who doesn't love a giant tree stump thick kind of thing of spaghetti?
I don't.
Okay.
I like my spaghetti in, so I can have one strand at a time. Stir the cream sauce so the butter doesn't stick. Make sure his stuff doesn't stick. And I'll put a lid on that water so that it boils fast.
These are some massive sausages.
I know. We have everything massive in Colorado. Lid on.
Not as big as Texas.
Oh, that's true too. Okay.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay. Go.
All right, I put the water in, I put a lid on it, and I put some oil in it. So now I'm going to put the noodles in. It is at a rolling boil, and you always want to make sure that any time you cook pasta, it's at a boil. Okay? So now I'm going to take out just a few.
So if you do it like me, we like to break them in half, and when I do it, look at that. Oh, you did that like me.
I did.
So really, I shoot the things all over the place, and you end up with these little, like 2-inch middle pieces everywhere, and you find them for days. That's how you know that I helped make the pasta. You don't usually do that.
No, I was just trying to show them how you do it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for illustrating my point.
No problem. Yeah. See, and I put them in like that,
That's how she usually does that.
and that's how I do it.
Beautiful and seamless.
Can you hand me the pasta stirrer?
Yeah, one more time. Woo! Pasta stir. Oh, wait, this one. Oh, pasta spoon. Tell us what a pasta spoon is.
Pasta spoon is something that has, so the water can leak out. This is also used if you only want a single serving of pasta. You can stick the pasta in there and it'll measure out a single serving. But it also has all these little hooks so you can hook the pasta in it.
Everybody was, wow, we're flinging those around like me.
I am. But you stir it up so that it all gets full of oil. That way they don't stick and they're all underwater.
Alright, so
Okay.
tell us about your white sauce. What's going on
Now.
with the white sauce now?
The butter has melted, so now I'm going to add some garlic. Now, I always add about
An amount. She adds some garlic.
I add some garlic. I add more garlic because once it gets on the noodles and the sauce and everything else, you're not going to taste it. So I always add extra, okay, to it so that when you taste it, it'll taste a little garlicky. And that's okay. So, as you can tell, I'm nervous about him flipping those. I really don't want my dinner on the floor. And it's been there a few times.
Really? You got to say that now.
Okay, it was only there once.
Well, it's not that it's on. Okay, go ahead.
Then I'm going to take Parmesan cheese. This is called grated, but I don't know.
It's more of a powdery thing.
It's more of a powder. And I'm going to add it again. Add.
How much are you adding?
I'm adding anywhere between
Some and
1 and 2 cups. 1, depending on how much you're making. Okay, I'm making enough for you and I, so I'm adding at least 2 cups. Now, when it gets in there, it's going to be there's going to be some lumps in it. Don't worry about that. As it gets hotter, it will melt and it will become thick. Okay? And that's all I add right there. Okay?
So Vicki's also not big into measurements. She's a lot more into the add some until you're done adding some.
Smell it and then taste it. That's so much better.
So there you go. For
And
those of
taste
us
as you
with
go.
less skill,
About 2 cups.
there we go. Go for the feel of it till you get your texture so melted in. And how do you know when you have enough, Vicki?
After it has melted, you'll feel a thickness in it.
Okay, so we're gonna go for when you feel a thickness. That's how you know you're done. Feeling a thickness.
Yeah. And in the meantime, you just want to stir it.
And add enough garlic until it smells right.
Yeah. You got to smell a lot of garlic. You'll also taste it, and it'll taste really garlicky. Okay. So you can either use fresh garlic. I prefer to use a little garlic powder and a little garlic salt. Okay. I know that the salt part isn't good for you, but it really does make the flavor.
If
better.
it says garlic on the package anywhere, throw some in. Oh, could you use fresh garlic?
You can, except that it doesn't. It comes out in clumps, so you'd have to chop it really fine.
Okay. Why didn't we do that this time?
I do not do that.
We just didn't.
Yeah, no, I don't like putting real garlic in this. I'd rather have
Okay.
garlic salt or garlic powder because you don't want the sauce lumpy.
All right. What's next?
Okay, so now we're just going to stir this for a little bit
Okay.
and wait for the noodles to get cooked. Now these noodles, they'll take about 15 minutes.
They're slow noodles, though, in all fairness, and
They
we're
are.
pretty high up above sea level. For those of our friends in England that are near sea level, they'll cook a whole lot faster.
They will.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Vicki, how do you know everything's done?
Well, once your white sauce starts to bubble, let it bubble, but don't boil it, okay? Or don't let it boil over, because it is milk, so it'll boil over. So just stir it, okay, until your noodles are done. Now, when you start tasting and testing the noodles, what you want to do is you want to try to get one. Okay.
Oh.
Whoops. Catch that.
And you want to see if they stick to the cupboard? It's
Didn't
not done.
stick.
So these noodles are not done. Okay, so that's how I know noodles are done, is they stick to the surface. This is done when?
This is done about 10 minutes after it has started to bubble.
And how do you know by looking at it? Because you don't ever track time either.
It's real thick.
So it gets really thick?
Yep.
What happens if you cook it too long?
Nothing.
What happens?
Absolutely nothing.
What's the
It'll
texture
burn.
like? What if it's not too hot, but you just like let it simmer for way too long?
Then it will be real thick.
And what if you don't do it long enough?
It'll be real runny.
And you can still put it on your noodles and it still tastes great.
Right. It
Okay.
really depends on what you like. Some people like it thicker. Some people like it thin.
All right, so
I
cook
kinda
it as
like
long as
both.
you want to. And as far as sausages
About
go,
15 minutes.
you want to cook them until they're done all the way through. At the very end, I'll cut it with a knife and make sure it's not pink in the middle because raw pork and beef and all that stuff is terrible for you. So mostly because of worms and things.
We don't want to go into that. I'm good.
Anyway, make sure it's cooked all the way through. If you're, I lost my train of thought because you're cute. Okay, if you end up cooking them too hot, the casings will burst and the stuff will shoot out in the oils and things, that's just how you know you cooked them too hot. Mine are too hot. They by a little bit. 2 of them have burst, but it's not a really big deal. And that's it. So I guess we will join you again when we have food to eat. Real quick, we happen to have some Pinot Noir available that saved me a trip to the store to do anything else. I really like wine with my Italian food. Amanda, what makes a good wine, or what makes a good pairing at the simple level? If you happen to see this, leave a comment for what you would recommend with Alfredo, just as far as general schools. I know you can get a whole lot more specific than that, but in case you've got some insight, or anybody else who's got insight, please let me know.
All right, there it is served, and I always add some Parmesan cheese to mine. Now this is what I call grated, or maybe this is shredded No, the other's shredded. This is grated. There I have it. So, bon appetit, folks.
All right, we're going to go eat. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.